WrestleMania Night 2 Sunday Review. So, I will say that off the bat, WrestleMania Night 2 Sunday is so much better and feels so much more like WrestleMania than Saturday Night 1, because Saturday Night 1, until the main event happened, pretty much, that just felt like a random, regular, like PLE. But this really legitimately felt like WrestleMania from the jump all the way to the end, which we will get to. We kick things off with the WWE Women's Championship match. Io Sky is champion versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair won the Elimination Chamber to get into this. Rhea Ripley has been crying and whining and complaining to get inserted into this because she lost her title to Io Sky. And now here we are. And this match, banger, man, hard-hitting match. Awesome match, man. Reversals, man. Double team spots. Io Sky's awesome. Bianca Belair puts in work. Rhea Ripley's a hard hitter, and she shows us why she's such a good athlete and why we love her. And this match, no complaints. Love this match. Kick things off with WrestleMania with a bang, man. This match was a great match, and the right person won. Io Sky won. I was nervous that she was going to lose her title here at WrestleMania, and I thought that would have been dumb because she just won it. But I'm glad Io Sky picked up the victory here. What an awesome start to WrestleMania. And then we go into the Sin City Street Fight, the beef between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre is real. It's been brewing for a year since Damian Priest screwed Drew McIntyre over when Drew McIntyre won the championship last year. So this match, a lot of people weren't anticipating this match, and neither was I. I mean, it's Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and it's for nothing. It's just a beef. But the fact that it is a street fight makes it more appealing, and so as soon as the match started, I was into this match. Both these guys are phenomenal athletes, hard-hitting athletes. Right person won. Drew McIntyre, he's great in that ring. We'll see what they do with Damian Priest down the line. If he'll get another, title shot. Drew McIntyre, he, taking pictures, taking selfies and all that stuff and posting during his matches, Drew McIntyre is a wild man. But yeah, I'm glad Drew McIntyre won here, and we'll see what his future holds. Next up, we got the WWE Intercontinental Championship match. We got champion Braun Breaker taking on Judgment Day member Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor versus Penta, the newcomer. In this match, absolutely phenomenal. Braun Breaker's great. Dominic Mysterio, he's cool. I like him. He's got that charisma. He's got that aura, and he's dirty. He's dirty Dominic Mysterio. And then the fact that Michael Cole and them were making fun of Dominic Mysterio, with the dude wipes thing, I thought that was hilarious. And then, you got Finn Balor in there. He always looks good, but man, he needs to go back to the Prince. And then you got Penta, he's brand new, fresh. He's looking good in there, So this was a great match. No doubt about it. Braun Breaker losing the championship. That's fine. That's fine because, we already saw, we should already know what happened on Monday Night Raw since this review is very late. But, Braun Breaker, great. He lost the title to Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio pinned Finn Balor in the ring, and that's cool. I didn't predict it. I wanted Dominic Mysterio to win because I thought that would have created just a huge monumental moment, and I feel like it did. And Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental Championship, his first singles title, phenomenal. Let's see what he does with his Intercontinental Championship run. Maybe he could be like Eddie Guerrero, because the thing I will never forget about Eddie Guerrero is how he tricked out Kurt Angle when Kurt Angle put on the ankle lock, and then Eddie Guerrero took off his boot, and Angle standing there with a boot in his hand, like, what the hell? So if you get Dominic Mysterio doing stuff like that, then I'm all on board for this. Next up, we got an open challenge. Randy Orton was supposed to face Kevin Owens, and I love Kevin Owens, man. Kevin Owens, to me, is like the new modern version of Mick Foley, just more hard, not more hardcore, let's not say that. He's just the newest version of Mick Foley to me. I love Kevin Owens, man. He will put his body, his life on the line for this business, for our entertainment. Kudos to the man, whether he's a heel, whether he's a face, he's evil, he's bad, don't care. I always love me some Kevin Owens. Like when he had his United States Championship run as the face of America, I thought that shit was corny as hell, but it was hilarious. And Kevin Owens, I love this man, and I hope his surgery goes through quickly and smoothly, and he has a speedy recovery. I love Kevin Owens. It sucks that we weren't able to have this match because we would have saw the punt kick probably, but unfortunately, things happen in life and we have to move on. So Randy Orton, to be announced. We don't know who it is. Everyone was hoping for Nick Aldis, but we didn't get that. People were assuming it was going to be Solo Sikoa, but no one wanted that. People would have been fine with that, but instead, we got Drew Henry. Now, I know of Drew Henry. I know the whole meme about, the clapping the hands and I believe in Joe Hendry and all that stuff. I know all about that. He turns his face, he smiles and all that stuff. I never really saw a Drew Hendry match. I just heard of the memes. This is the first time I've seen, since the Royal Rumble. But in the actual match, this is my first time. He's the TNA champion. WWE signed a deal with TNA. And so he's here. And it's a shocker. It's a surprise. And it's a big pop for Joe Hendry. Because everyone should know who Joe Hendry is. Even people who haven't seen his matches. So you see Joe Hendry here. And he comes in the ring. And Randy Orton's like, okay. And then so we have a quick match. And it's one of those spots at WrestleMania that I'm glad we have here. Because this is WrestleMania. Because it's one of those spots where it's just like a silly comedy skit. It's meant to be goofy. We usually have those things every year at WrestleMania. Like, the traditional thing at WrestleMania where, you usually have a ladder match, and then you usually have a street fight of some sort, a grudge match, and then you have, like a hardcore match, and then you may have a little triple threat tag team match, and usually you always have those funny and silly, goofy spots at WrestleMania, and that was missing here until this thing with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens happened. Now we have our goofy, silly spot with Joe Hendry. And it was absolutely hilarious what Joe Hendry was doing. Like, this guy, he knocks Randy Orton out. He's standing there. He does his pose. He turns around and he's smiling, and the camera zooms in on his face. And then Randy Orton classic RKO out of nowhere. It was funny. It was hilarious. I enjoyed this segment, this moment, this match. It was funny. Randy Orton winning 20th anniversary WrestleMania. Love Randy Orton. He's phenomenal. The Viper, the Legend Killer, everything he's doing, everything he's done. When he started off in Evolution, I wasn't too sure about him, but once he went out on his own, it took me a while to get used to Randy Orton after he left Evolution, but then once he, became the Legend Killer and the Viper and all that kind of stuff, and now he's back buffer and nicer than ever. I really love Randy Orton. He's great. He deserved this moment. He's earned it. He's put in work for a long time. Next up, we got Logan Paul versus AJ Styles for nothing, just bragging rights. But I already was anticipating this match because I knew that Logan Paul and AJ Styles were going to put on no pun intended, a phenomenal match. Maybe the pun's intended, who cares? But it's like I was expecting just a banger because both these guys are phenomenal. Logan Paul's a hell of an athlete, whether you love him or hate him. AJ Styles a hell of an athlete because his resume just proves that. He's a GOAT. He's a legend. So Logan Paul's in there with a GOAT. AJ Styles is bound for the Hall of Fame at some point in his future. And so Logan Paul, he on top of him being athletic, he always has phenomenal entrances at PLEs, and this is no exception. He comes out with a drone, and he's filming himself, and it's epic. It feels like WrestleMania. It's like Shawn Michaels, he's doing all the crazy stuff. And the match, man, the match was good. I don't have any complaints about the match, really. I thought the match was good. It was a good match. I think Logan Paul winning, I'm glad Logan Paul won because he needed this win, and him winning clean just solidifies his wrestling record even more. I mean, people say matches and wins and losses don't matter, but I mean, if this is supposed to be like, a simulation of a competitive sport, seriously, wins and losses should matter, you know? So it's like Logan Paul winning here, I think that was right. Because now he can say, hey, I beat AJ Styles and he's the GOAT. Who's next? You know, AJ Styles winning here kind of wouldn't have made any sense. Because it's like, I mean, he's pretty much at the tail end of his career, you know, unless this was like for a championship or something, maybe. But Logan Paul winning here, I think, was the right call. I have no complaints about this match. This was a great match. Um, Karrion Cross interfering, though, is a little weird. I didn't expect that. I mean, they're not doing anything with Karrion Cross. Like, to me personally, like, ever since Karrion Cross made his main roster debut, and I remember when it happened, it was on SmackDown. And I don't remember if it was during the pandemic or not, but it was on SmackDown. Karrion Cross came out. I didn't know who the hell he was, but they made a big deal out of him. He had his whole black and white screen thing with his time, and he's like, yeah, time. And they were doing tarot cards or something. And then he was supposed to, like, fight Drew McIntyre or something. He had his feud with Drew McIntyre, and he got beat the hell up there numerous times, and it just killed his momentum. And I don't know what the hell they're doing with this guy. So whatever, but yeah, so yeah, this match was good. Next up, we got the WWE Women's Championship tag match. This is the one match that I did not care about. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez as champions versus Lyra Valkyria and her partner to be determined because apparently uh Bailey, I don't really know what's going. I don't remember what's wrong with her. I think she's injured or something. I don't really remember. But we get Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch returns to team up with Lyra Valkyria, and that was a good pop. That was a good moment to see Becky Lynch come back. We haven't seen her in a while. And of course, since you have Becky Lynch, the man, back, legendary future to be Hall of Famer. Since she's back, you know they're gonna win this match. At first, you know, I wasn't looking forward to this. I was like, why is this so late? Why couldn't this kick off the show? But you know, watching Lyra Valkyria really impressed me in this match. She really turned up the heat in this match. You know, she really, I think out of all of the participants in this match, Lyra Valkyria impressed me the most. She really put on a show. Like, she was hyping up the crowd. She was doing dives and everything. Like, Lyra Valkyria, I don't know much about her, but watching her in this match, she really was like, I'm at WrestleMania and I'm going to create a show. And she did. Like, I was really paying attention to her in this match more than anyone else. And yeah, so Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch are the new tag team champions. That's nice. I will definitely pay attention to Lyra Valkyria in the future. Moving on. Yeah, so we got the Stone Cold Steve Austin came out of nowhere. The glass shattering. He almost ran over a an audience member. Yeah, it was a little scary. But Austin's in there, you know, driving his ATV, damn near runs over someone. Thank God for the barricade. And then he goes in the ring to do the attendance announcement, and he's drinking his Steve Weisers. You know, it was great to see Stone Cold Steve Austin. Huge nostalgia pop. It sucks that he wasn't involved in this main event, and it sucks that he wasn't involved in the main event last year. Like, for God's sakes, I love Undertaker. The gong hit was fantastic, but if we just would have heard that glass shatter, and then we see Austin with his mean mug, and then, you know, he flips the Rock off and he stuns him in that ring, that would have, oh my God, I think that would have been so much better than Undertaker there. But I love Undertaker, but damn, man. I heard that they didn't pay Austin enough money or something for that, but he's here, so whatever. It's good that we see him here. But he's here, and it's awesome. So we get to the main event. And I was anticipating this match. I mean, it's Big Match John versus the American Nightmare, the champion, Cody Rhodes. And I have to be honest, man, this match, it was disappointing. This match, I mean, I understand, you know, John Cena, he's this heel. He's like, you don't get what you want. You get nothing, you know. And it's just like, man, yeah, they say you can't wrestle, and he did, what did he do? I think he did a tornado DDT. That was nice. But this match, man, it's not as good as last year's match. This is nowhere near as phenomenal as the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes match. Not just with like the interferences, just like match type itself. I guess because, you know, Roman Reigns is younger, Cody Rhodes is younger, and they can do a lot more in the ring. And John hasn't been in there in a while, and he did look a lot buffer here though. You know, he normally looks like pretty skinny, but he did look a lot buffer here. And I'm just like, This match to me was just kind of boring, man. Like, and then Travis Scott coming out. What does he have to do with all this? Yeah, I guess since The Rock, he's busy with his his career, and he's got all this stuff going on. I understand, but god dang, man, The Rock, seriously, he needed to be here. He needed to be here because the whole thing is like, yeah, your soul and all this stuff, which they still haven't explained. Travis Scott comes out, I guess, because he works with The Rock and John. John Cena's smiling. But then the craziest thing, I'm like, is this a no disqualification match? So then Travis Scott pulls the referee out of the ring, and that should have caused the disqualification. Cody Rhodes is still the champion, disqualification. But I guess that's not the case. And then the dumbest thing in the world, just like Gunther tapping out, John Cena hits Cody Rhodes with the championship. And before that even happens, before John Cena picks up the victory, there's this moment where it's like, is Cody Rhodes gonna turn to the dark side? He's got the championship in his hand, and all he has to do is whack John Cena over the head with the championship, hit him with a triple crossroads, and it's over. He's eliminated the threat. He eliminated Travis Scott. He's out of the equation. John Cena is at the mercy of Cody Rhodes. All Cody Rhodes has to do is hit John Cena with the title, triple crossroads, and it's over. He retains. But Cody Rhodes, for some reason, is standing there with a dumb look on his face, and he's confused. He's like, I don't know if I should do it. I don't want to hit you with the championship. I don't want it to be this way, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, just hit his ass. And you know why? Because, bro, this is the same Cody Rhodes that fought AJ Styles in an I Quit match and beat the crap out of him. Even after the match was over, AJ Styles was begging and bleeding for his life. Like, man, stop, please, please, stop, please, I quit. And he still hit him with the steel stairs. After he quit and the match was over, he still hit him with the steel stairs. That's the same Cody Rhodes. This is the same Cody Rhodes that fought Kevin Owens, beat the crap out of him, damn near, I'm pretty, that ladder match probably caused Kevin Owens injury and caused him to have surgery. He put Kevin Owens through a ladder. That was a great match. He put Kevin Owens through a ladder, and then after the match was over, this man stands over Kevin Owens' lifeless corpse, taunting the crowd. This the same Kevin Owens. This the same Cody Rhodes. Let's rewind a little bit before he even won the title. This the same Cody Rhodes that when he lost against Roman Reigns that first time, he fought Brock Lesnar, and then when I can't remember which match it was, they had like a trilogy, but it was one of the matches where Cody Rhodes fought Brock Lesnar, and in the middle of the damn match, as the match was still going, Cody Rhodes picked up the damn steel stairs and he hit Brock Lesnar in the face, which didn't cause a disqualification for some reason. So you're telling me that this Cody Rhodes, who has done all of that crap I just mentioned, cannot do one thing and hit John Cena with the championship? That is bullshit. That is bull. That is baloney. That is horse shit. That is crap. That is baloney. You can't do all of that and then all of a sudden, oh my God, I don't want to do it. After you've done all of that garbage. That is bull. That is crap. And then the finish was trash, man. John Cena just hits him over the head with the belt, and he pins him 1, 2, 3, and it's over. And I was like, that's so lackluster. This match, this main event, it had the star power for sure, but the match quality for me itself was just not there. And then the way it ended was trash. Like I said, you got Cody doing all of this stuff, and he can't just do this one thing. For Christ's sakes, you got LA Knight, who LA Knight would have done it. LA Knight, I don't give a damn. This is my champion. I'm going to hit you with it. LA Knight, that's what he did to Shinsuke Nakamura to win his title back. Same thing with Shinsuke Nakamura, the Elimination Chamber. He took advantage of the ring in the middle of the metal part of the ring and hit LA Knight. LA Knight hit a move or the BFT on the steel chair, and took advantage of the situation. And Cody Rhodes doing all his other stuff, taking advantage of situations, but for some reason at this moment he can't do it. Maybe it's because he's like, it's WrestleMania and I got to hold tradition or something. I don't know. It's stupid, personally. So yeah, WrestleMania, man. Yeah, it was fine as a whole. Yeah, night 2 kind of sucked until the main event came around. That was comparing main events, bro. For me, the night one main event with Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins is the best main event. It's better than John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Like that main event, like just that match, that whole from beginning to end, that triple threat match was a banger, bro. And then the table spot, man, I didn't think those tables could break, man. I love that moment, man. Oh yeah, that main event was awesome. But night one sucked. Main event was phenomenal. Night two definitely felt more like WrestleMania until we got to the main event, which I thought sucked. Night one, a main event was way better. But yeah, that's WrestleMania. And you know, if I had to give it like a score from like an A to an F, I'd say that as a whole, WrestleMania 41, I'd say either a C plus or a B minus. One of those two, because like that main event in the first night was a banger, and then night two from the beginning all the way to the main event was pretty much a banger, except for that tag team match. If I had to, since I did it for night one, we'll say, okay, from greatest to least, my favorite matches. Number one, man, got to give it to Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. That's my favorite match in night two. My second favorite match, I'd say, is my Logan Paul AJ Styles match. And then my third favorite match, I'd say Braun Breaker, Dominique, Finn Balor, Penta. Fourth favorite, the street fight, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. And then everything else. I mean, the Randy Orton thing, that was funny. That I wouldn't even call that a match, honestly. I just call that like a segment. That was absolutely hilarious with Joe Henry and the smiling and the RKO. All that stuff was great. Let me do this. So ranking the matches together, what would be my favorite match of the entire WrestleMania? I want to say the main event of night one, but putting it from greatest to least, the matches from night one and night two. Let me see. I would do top five. Let's do top five. Let's do that. So I would say off the top of my head, my top five, just top five favorite matches from both nights of WrestleMania, from greatest to least. I'd say my first favorite match is the main event of night one. The main event of night one is the Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns match. My second favorite match is the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match, Io Sky, Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. My third favorite match, I'm going to have to go with the Logan Paul AJ Styles match. My fourth favorite match, I'm going to have to go with Jade Cargill versus Naomi. And my fifth favorite match, I'm going to have to go with I'm going to go with the Randy Orton Joe Hendry spot. That's a segment. That's not a match. And I know I just said that, but I don't care. I'm breaking my own rules, man. That segment was absolutely hilarious. I'm never going to forget that with the Joe Hendry smile and the zoom and the RKO. That was a good segment. But yeah, those are my top five favorite matches, segments of both nights WrestleMania. And yeah, so that's WrestleMania. That's WrestleMania. And that's all I have to say.